Hello everyone, I'm Marilyn and I'm traveling with Minnie VanGogh. Welcome back to my channel. I guess I need to tell myself welcome back since I haven't been posting or videoing anything since I got back from my Florida trip in March. But it is now June. It's a beautiful day in Pennsylvania and I am loading up my van and preparing to leave tomorrow morning to head toward Maine. So follow me on my adventures in Maine and let's see what we can get into. Let's see what friends I can find, the old friends and new. And of course, my Jazzy, who's always with me. Let me see if I can turn this camera around and get her. By golly, there she is. She is waiting patiently for us to go on our trip. She's been following every move I make, and she is not going to let me out of her sight. Well, except when she's looking up the trees to see the squirrels. Oh, I said the right word. Get 'em, Jazzy. It's been a long time since I've updated you on my van and the way I now have it set up. So let's take a few minutes right now and do that. We'll do that while it's still kind of neat. I say that because you ladies who have your beds so nice and neat, you amaze me. I don't know how you do it. So anyhow, I now have my bed behind the passenger seat. And it's working out better for me this way because that way I feel a lot safer when I'm parking somewhere overnight, like in a Walmart or a Cracker Barrel, that I can just get out of my driver's seat and scoot right back in to my bedroom area. So that has made me feel much more comfortable. Now, I do travel with Jazzy, and she has been up on the bed a couple of times and rumpled it up. But you know what? That's the best part about living with a dog. You just gotta love them. So as we get in here, I have probably shown you this before. It used to be on the other side of the van. This is a sideboard cabinet that I bought online. I believe it was from Target. I have looked recently and have not found a link to this particular one. But if you look at Target's website, I'm sure you could find something if you're interested in doing something like this. What I like about this is it has the sliding doors. Now, because they are sliding doors, they slam back and forth when you're driving, so I ended up putting some magnets on here to hold the doors closed while I'm driving. And I have two shelves, and as you can see, I use these little baskets, and each basket is a little different category, and it helps me stay a lot more organized. So up on this end, for the items that I use the most, which is my electronics, this is what I have in here. I've got some fans, I've got my car vac, I've got some solar chargers, I've got my Wi-Fi hot box with me. The second box I have has a few more electronics and some miscellaneous stuff. This electronic piece is a homemade clock. I am one who has to have some noise to help me fall asleep, and this does have a great ticking sound. Now, I was not able to get the other hands in place, like the minute hand and the second hand. They just wouldn't go in place for me, but you know what? It doesn't matter, because this is going to be used in the dark when I'm trying to sleep, and I can't see the time anyhow, but I can hear that wonderful ticking noise, and that is what I am after. Moving back down to this box, this particular piece happens to be part of my charger that goes with my air compressor, and that helps me charge up my batteries. In here I have an adapter that I can use at the campground I have some extra batteries that I need to put more in, some extra charger cables. Here's my rain poncho, and this has my business cards. Also in here is where I store my wonderful bug zapper. Jazzy doesn't like it. It makes a funny noise and it scares her. But it sure cuts down on the number of bugs that are inside the van. Does a good number on them. Moving down to the bottom shelf, this is all my toiletries, all my necessities, my bathroom type of stuff. I've got toilet paper and I've got my toothbrush, toothpaste, some miscellaneous lotions, and anything you would find in a medicine cabinet, you know, anti-itch cream, because there's always bugs around somewhere, like this one that's trying to get to me now. Moving on to the left side of the cabinet, again, I have my storage boxes with my coffees and my hot cocos. I've got my coffee cup in there. Down below that, on the left-hand side, I do have some food items. And the right-hand box is miscellaneous tools and tapes and whatnot. In this black case here is a car starter. If I should happen to be somewhere and my car won't start, I can at least give it a jump start. One of the other things I've just recently purchased is this mosquito zapper. I found this at one of the sporting goods stores up in Erie, PA, and it's called a Thermacell. And you don't have any sprays. This happens to be scent free. You have these Thermacell cartridges that you put into it, and you twist it and turn it on, and within just a few minutes the mosquitoes in your area are going to dissipate. So this would be a good item to have while you're out around a campground. Now this box happens to hold another Thermacell container. So that'll be going with me because I don't know how much I will be needing in the time that I'm going to be in Maine. Moving up here behind my sideboard cabinet, I am going to show you the few things that I have packed back in there. There is an extra blanket over here that takes up the entire space back there and helps to prevent things from falling down behind. I carry my wet tissues up there for just general cleanups inside the van. One of the most important things everyone should have is some type of fire extinguisher, and I decided to buy this fire blanket. Not that I would expect to have a fire inside the van, but you never know, and it's always handy to have for fires anywhere. Now the water container in front of it came along with me last year. Never used it as a water container because the spigot is directly over my electric outlets, and I didn't think that was too good of an idea, so I don't put anything in it, but it does help to take up that empty space so nothing will fall down behind. If you were following along with me last spring when I was in Florida, you saw the video maybe of the installation of my DC to DC charger, and that is what this breaker box is for right here. When I'm driving down the road, I just flip this on so that it can be charging my Bluetti battery as I'm driving. I will put a link to that video here in the description if you want to go back and look at it. Along the back is some of my decorations. Footprints in the Sand happens to be my favorite poem, and I have all kinds of placards and artwork with that poem on it. So when I found this, I had to absolutely have it, and I've got it attached in here with alien tape, and it keeps it in place really, really good. Before I move on to the back, Over on this side, this is where I store my window coverings. I've got my black security curtains and my extra curtains more for privacy because these security curtains aren't quite big enough. This is my security curtain that goes across the front of the van behind the front seats for privacy, and this happens to be an extra blanket. My mother made this for me many, many years ago. She is a hand quilter. She was, bless her heart. She passed in 2007. She made many quilts, most of them sewn by hand. It would take her a couple of years to do it. But with this one, you just unfold it. See if I can figure out how to do that. I might have to do another video on this sometimes. But you just unfold it. I'm going to have help with this, so I'll do another video on that to show you this beautiful little piece. But rather than quilting this one, she hand tied it with pieces of yarn. And I know the perfect person who can help me video this particular piece. I won't name any names at the moment, but if she's watching, she'll know. If you know, you know. I still have my battery-operated light up here that is run by, I believe, either a AAA or a AA battery. And I don't use it very often, just for a quickie at night if I need to see something. So that lasts for quite a while. What I do use most is my neck light. This is wonderful. This is the type of thing that you can walk around at the campground or wherever you're at with it around your neck, and the lights are pointing at the ground so you're not blinding somebody as you're coming up on them. And it's got different settings on both ends, but I do use this in here for a little bit of light at night when I'm trying to get ready to crawl into bed. You may remember my video where I was putting my flowers and ivy decorations up here, and because I was having no luck with the fairy lights, I chose to use these illuminating glow-in-the-dark type of stars. Well, as you can see, a number of them have fallen down. I watch falling stars a lot at night, inside the van mostly. And you'll see I have numerous butterflies all over. And this particular piece is very special to me. If you could see some of the gray pieces in there, those are ashes from my beautiful golden retriever that will always be in my heart forever. And I had a few of those ashes put in this little pendant so she could travel with me no matter where I go. She'll always be in my heart. So now we're going to move on to the back to show you my kitchenette unit. And as I pan around, you can see that my girl Jazzy is doing her job. It's never ending with her. That's what she's best known for, that and her beautiful personality. Now, I have to tell you what happened last night. I was absolutely stunned by what I saw, and boy, do I wish I had my camera with me and at the ready, but who would have known? I was going outside last night to make sure she did her last potty break, and she'd been out for a couple hours that evening, and I always check on her when she's out there. But I hadn't looked out for a few minutes, and I went out, and she is at the end of the patio, and not 20 feet away was a small doe standing there staring at her, and she's staring at it. And I am just amazed that she didn't bark. She didn't chase, thankfully. She was a very good girl, and when I saw what was going on and I said, Jazzy, stay, she stayed. Most of the time when I walk outside, that's her clue to start chasing. But she stayed put. The deer stood there and watched us for a while, and then it flicked its tail and slowly turned around and started walking away. That was an amazing sight to see. Like I said, they weren't more than 20 feet apart. She's such a good girl. Okay, so now we move back to the back of the van. And I know that you've seen my kitchenette before, but I'll show it to you again. This is one that I built, the first thing I ever built in my whole life. On top is where my set power refrigerator will go. My son will be here tonight to put that in place for me. And my Bluetti charger, the AC 180, will sit right here. And again, talking about the DC to DC charger, that is what this unit here is. And when I get my Bluetti in and get ready to leave in the morning, I will hook it up and we'll be ready to go. So here is my kitchenette that I built. I made sure that I could fit certain things in here. And if you want to take a look at the video I did when I was putting everything together, I will post a link to that one also. Behind that purple blanket there, I have my solar panel. It's a Renogy 200 watt. And I also have a small pop-up tent just in case I would need it. The only reason I would ever need it for anything is if I need to store some excess items while I am out camping, particularly in a campground. And I did forget to tell you about my little portable potty, so let's go back up front and I will explain that. I bought this unit on Temu, so it wasn't very expensive. It does happen to be a collapsible box type of thing. I'm sorry guys, but it is so hot outside. It's 85 degrees here today and I don't deal well with the heat. So I moved inside the van so I could get out of the direct sun, and I will show you my potty system. Now this is a collapsible potty. I had purchased it on Temu. So you know it wasn't very expensive. It is a collapsible, but when I'm on the road and it's set up, I never take it apart and collapse it. I just leave it up. I guess I'm kind of lazy in that manner. So let me set this camera down and set it up a different way so I can show you how this all gets put together. She's watching very closely, and as soon as my voice starts, she pops up to go do her job. I'm going to be headless in this part of the video. My face is so purple from the heat, you don't want to see that. But anyhow, this is the collapsible toilet, and all you do to set it up is fold it out. Oh, sure. Do it the right way. Snap it together. And it comes with a lid, and it has a toilet seat with it. But that's not all I do with it. I'm going to show you what all else I do. But in the meantime, before I do that, I'm going to show you how easily this thing collapses. You have to take the lid off, and these little tabs right here, you push them out, and that releases the side so that it can lay down. Well, push it the right way and it'll do that. And it is just so easy. But like I said, I'm the lazy type, so I just keep it set up the entire time when I'm out on the road. Well, I'm not one to just put a bag in here and put the seat back on and hope that that's going to be successful, because ain't no way. I like to have a lot of security because who wants to deal with that kind of a mess? Now, I only use this for number one. I've never used it as a poo potty because I'm always somewhere where I can go in and use a restroom there. So this is only my nighttime use, and I get up so many times during the night. But I have always used an extra trash can, just a little wastebasket that used to be by my desk in my office. And not trusting that, of course, I always line it with one of the biodegradable bags. Now, I'm a good one who likes to do the double bagging. So here's the second bag, and I will show you that in a few minutes. But anyhow, back here I can store a lot of the supplies that I use with this system. One of the things I use is, I believe this is called Lysil. I bought this particular unit or this particular item on Amazon, and it is supposed to help congeal any fluids. So I just sprinkle a little bit of that in the bottom of the bag. Along with that, I use these bedpan liners. I also get these from Amazon, and I put usually 2 of them in there every night, and I always clean it up and throw it away, throw the trash away the next day. Very seldom do I go 2 nights without doing so. So that tucks in there. I have my extra roll of the disposable bags. These are very nice and heavyweight. I've never had a problem with them leaking, but you just never know. I got those on Amazon as well. So I have one here that I have prepared so that I can put it in here and show you the final setup. So this is when I cover the entire piece with this unit. I put 2 of those bedpan liners in here, along with maybe a teaspoon or so of the Lysil. And then I put the lid on, and I set it aside. And as you can see, it's all set to go. Very easy peasy. Now let's talk about storage options other than my sideboard unit. I have a lot of storage under my cot. Now what I use is a Coleman Comfort Cot. It's hard to find this size anymore. It's a 69-inch. I'm 5'4", so that works well for me. I've got it covered with a nice lounge pad. I have a 4-inch, I believe it's a 4-inch foam pad, memory foam pad. And then I took my queen size flat sheet and I sewed it up the side to make it like a pillow. And that's how I make my bed. And every once in a while I get these little black spots that kind of remind me of a spider, but it's just Jazzy's hair that gets so balled up. So anyhow, underneath, you will see I have a bin that has my towels and my linens, and I've got my cooling blanket here. There will be another bin similar to this that sits right here, and that will hold my clothes. In this space between the bed and the sideboard unit is where I store my window covers for the front windshield. I have a new chair. This is a camp chair that happens to be a rocker, and it's wonderful. And I will try to remember to set that up and show you when I am out camping. So now we go underneath, and you can see I've got a container there that has some of my Dash mini appliances. On top of that is my butane stove. I have an extra rug because sometimes somebody comes in with muddy feet. Not me, of course. I've got that flowery box there has some extra supplies in it, like toilet paper and miscellaneous things that I might run out of and don't want to run out of. And there's another box behind it that you can't see, and that has a water hose and a filter in case I happen to be at a campground and I hook up to their what they call city water there. Very seldom do that, so I very seldom use it. See what I mean? I thought this was a spider, and it's just Jazzy's hair. Although, by golly, there was a spider, and it jumped. It's a jumpy spider. Look out, Kim. It's a jumpy spider. Sorry, but I don't like them any better than you do. Minnie happens to be a 2014 Chrysler Town & Country. She's been sitting in the driveway for a number of days now, and I live on a dirt road, so she really is quite dusty. And with all the rain we've had, driving on the roads, yeah, I've kicked up a little bit of mud on her too, so she's not exactly in the cleanest of shape, but I still love her. Well, they quit making the Town & Countries, I believe, in 2016. I think that was their last model. And they went to making the Pacificas. And they are also a very popular vehicle for van life. And this really is a good option for those of us, especially who just do this part-time. I can't imagine trying to do this full-time in a vehicle this size, although I know some of us who do. Hi guys, I'm back from my trip to Maine, and I was watching my videos back and realized that I forgot a couple of items that I really wanted to show you. I have this wonderful collapsible sink that most of you have seen. I got it on Amazon. I don't use it often, but when I need it, I'm so glad that I have it. I happen to have this collapsible shower unit that I'm going to put my camera on a tripod and be in the breezeway showing it to you because it is 94 degrees here today and I'm way too hot to sit out here and film this. This box that I had showed you that I stored my extra toilet paper, etc. in, well, it's coming out of there, so that'll give me a little more room. After having to dig through everything in the van to get to this box, to get out a simple roll of toilet paper was just more than I could handle. So I decided I'd rather go to a store and just buy one or two rolls rather than to go through that rigmarole. So I will find other places for my potty bags and my survival blanket if I should happen to need it, and my towel cleanups. You know, these are for touch screens like my phone or my computer. And of course, my handy dandy lint roller full of Jazzy hair. So that box is coming out and I'll make room for something else. So the other thing I have, and I'll show you how it folds and stores away, but this is my table that I use constantly when I'm out on the road. When I'm making my breakfast, this thing comes in handy. Although this time I didn't use it as much because I used the kitchenette. It was working a lot better for me this year. You'll see that in some of my videos. But this folds up and stores on top of the bins that I keep under my bed here. And it fits so nicely. So I will take it along. Whether I use it or not is another thing, but it comes with me. So I am in the breezeway right now, and I apologize if the lighting is not good, but at least it's a little bit cooler in here. And I just wanted to show you how easily this thing folds down. And when I'm ready to put it back into use, it pops up just that easy. And I love this thing. It was worth the money I paid for it. So this handy little item I got on Amazon as well. And this is my shower unit. Inside this carrying bag comes a very neat collapsible bucket. I believe it's a 5-gallon bucket. I can fill it with water. I'm not going to play with it too much to keep it upright, but inside this bag is the pump on the end of this hose. It is connected to a power source. There is the shower head. I have in this bag is an alternate shower head if I choose to use that. It is more like the sink sprayer, but it's all a personal preference as to what you want to use. This is a mounting bracket if you happen to be somewhere where you can attach it by suction cup. I haven't taken the time to figure that out. It also has a hook that somehow attaches. Again, I haven't taken the time to figure that out. If I ever use it, maybe I will. I have the USB cord to charge up the unit. It's got this different end to it, so I'll have to do some research into that. I haven't used this yet, obviously, but I sure wish I would have. This trip out. Going 4 days without a shower is really not my thing. And it says Dr. Prepare. I'm not sure what this is. I turn it on. I don't have much power on it, so I assume that that is what this thing plugs into. Yeah, maybe, maybe not. Oh, it's what this jubby plugs into right here. So, like I said, I have to do some research and learn how to use it, and if I ever do, I'll come back to you on that. So, it goes with me. Someday I'll use it. I promise. I'm not going to promise that I'll show it to you when I'm using it, but I will do something. Hello again. Well, it's another day, as you can obviously tell, different shirt on, but I think I can finally get my video wrapped up and get it posted soon. I realized one of the other things I had forgotten to show you was this wonderful camping chair that I promised I would show it to you, and here I am. I'm going to show you how easy it is to set it up. I love this thing. I really do. But I'm going to tell you, I'm not taking it on another trip with me because it's actually too big to haul around in my car. It gets in my way. So I am going to resort to my regular smaller camp chair when I go traveling. But this has a hook on it where the strap keeps it all folded nicely together. Just undo that and fold. So you end up, you spread it out like you do any other regular camp chair. Push down on it to make sure it's well set. And I'm going to have to play around with my camera a little bit to get the different angles. But as you can see, it is a rocker. And it is a very comfortable rocker. I really like this thing. I would love to take it with me on all of my trips, but for real, it just is not practical. So it is going to stay here at home in my breezeway, and I will enjoy it when I'm sitting here in the evenings trying to cool down. My Jazzy snuck in behind me and she's getting a good drink of water. Come here, Jazzy. Come here and say hello to everybody and say thank you for watching on our way out to watch more squirrels. So anyhow, again, I thank you very much for watching this video. Thank you for putting up with my poor memory and finally getting it all put together. So I hope you'll come back and join me again on more of my adventures. Now that I am home from Maine, I have a few videos that I will be posting. I didn't do as many as I had done when I was in Florida, but then I was only gone for 2 weeks. So please bear with me and follow along. Be sure to subscribe and like. Thank you so much.